Breaking news here on Chicago Bears now, just days before the start of NFL free agency. Ryan Poles makes his first big move as the Bears GM. He has traded Khalil Mack to the Los Angeles Chargers, and here are the trade details. Chicago will receive a top 50 pick from the Chargers, second-round pick, number 48 overall, a sixth-round pick next year for Khalil Mack. A lot of thoughts. My initial reaction is, I really don't mind this trade. I'm okay with it. And that's not because I don't like Khalil Mack. I love Khalil Mack. I think when he's healthy, he's still a top 15 defensive player in this league. The problem is he hasn't been fully healthy since 2018. He's played through a lot of injuries. That was unable to continue last year as he missed the final 10 games of the year with a foot injury. Would I have liked a first-round pick? Of course. But you get a top 50 pick. You know, you lacked draft capital this year. That gets you another premium pick. It helps. Sure, I would have liked a first, but I don't mind this pick. It's not an A grade, as you guys can get your grades in right now. I'm not going to give this an A or an A plus for Ryan Poles, but I don't mind the trade. Let us know what you guys think. Grade the Khalil Mack trade for the Bears. A, B, C, D, or F. Like I said, I'm okay with it. It's like a B minus. I think it's fine. Time will tell, but on paper, I think you could do worse. Khalil Mack last year, look, he was on pace having a hell of a year, but he got hurt, and they had to shut him down. 6 sacks in 7 games, 7 quarterback hits. I like Mack. Like I've said all along, he represented the Bears well. He had a good career with the Bears in 53 games. He racked up 36 sacks, 14 forced fumbles. Again, one of the premier defensive players in the National Football League. If they kept him this year, I would have been fine with that. But I'm also okay with the trade. There's a lot to unpack here about this because I've said for a while now, number one, I have told you guys that this is a possibility to trade Khalil Mack. Now it's happened. So, I never said it would for sure happen. I said it was possible. And you know why I said that? Because Ryan Poles, in his introductory press conference, said this, that I believe in building through the draft. Well, how do you get more draft picks? You trade a guy like Khalil Mack, and that is what he did. Would I prefer a second and a fourth or a first round pick without an extra pick? Yeah, but you know what? He's 31 years old. He's been nicked up in recent years. It just is what it is. This GM believes in building through the draft, and if you think getting a top 50 pick and getting out of Khalil Mack's contract, which we'll talk about the contract implications coming up, helps you do that, then I'm okay with it. I think I really am okay with this. I'll tell you what, this is why we're live. This is why we're breaking this down. When the Bears make moves, especially big ones, we're breaking it down here on Chicago Bears Now. Subscribe to the channel. It is free. We got 1,500 people watching live. If you're watching this video on demand, not live, we broke this down a little bit earlier for you guys, but hopefully you guys know the news by now. And if not, we're going to continue to provide that news, whether it's news, rumors, trades, or anything else. We will have you guys covered here on Chicago Bears Now, so subscribe. I would appreciate it. Let's get this channel growing faster than ever here on YouTube. Okay, let's talk about the contract a little bit. So Ian Rappaport had this. The Chargers are taking on all of Mack's contract, 3 years at $63.9 million. The Bears move on with the picks. Now, I think that confused some people, and I had to double check to be sure, saying, oh, does that mean no dead cap money for Chicago as well? No, you still have $24 million in dead cap. But what it means is that sometimes when you have players on bad contracts, not that Mack's contract was bad, an example would be like Carson Wentz's contract, even though Washington didn't force the Colts to keep some of his money for some reason. Sometimes the team trading away the player has to eat some of that money. That's not the case for the Bears. Now, they'll have a $24 million dead cap penalty this year. So, in reality, for 2022, the Bears only save about $3.5 million because Mack's cap hit was going to be $27 million. But after a trade, it drops to $24 million. But after 2022, he's completely off the books. You don't have to worry about Khalil Mack's contract impacting you beyond this season. So you save a little money for this year. You get a top 50 pick, a 6th-round pick next year, and after 2022, a lot more cap space is going to open up, and that's going to allow Ryan Poles to be even more aggressive in the future. So this is the updated draft compensation for Chicago. 6 draft picks now. Still no first-round pick, but maybe 2 top 50 picks allows you to trade up into the first round. That's a possibility now. But you have number 39 overall. That's the Bears' own pick. Number 48 overall, which you just got from the Chargers. Number 71 overall, 2 5th-round picks and a 6th-round pick. We'll see if Ryan Poles looks to add more picks between now and the NFL draft. But for now, 3 top 71 picks, which isn't too bad. I mean, considering you don't have a first-round pick, that's how Chicago sits after trading away Khalil Mack. Who won the trade? And look, the answer might end up being the Chargers. Maybe it's both. Maybe, it's neither. I don't know. Time will tell. Type CHI for the Chicago Bears. Type LAC for the LA Chargers. Like I've said, I really don't mind it. Could you have done better? Possibly, but maybe not. Maybe this is the best offer the Bears got for Khalil Mack, so I'm okay with it. I'm not going to say it's a home run, but I think it's just fine overall. So let's talk about how the defense looks now without Khalil Mack. I expect Travis Gibson to plug in and be a starter. I think you keep Robert Quinn now for at least one more season. And you got Mario Edwards coming off the edge as a backup. Jeremiah Tattoo maybe comes in there. Maybe you sign a depth pass rusher. Obviously, defensive tackle is still going to be a work in progress as Akeem Hicks and Bilal Nichols are free agents. We'll see if either of those guys return. Eddie Goldman is a cap cut candidate. We'll see if the Bears keep or cut him. But I think you'll actually be okay at edge. Obviously, Travis Gibson is not going to replace Khalil Mack by himself. But this is a guy who had 7 sacks last year as a part-time starter. And now I think he'll be a full-time starter. He could have 10 sacks. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility whatsoever for Travis Gibson, a guy who took a major step this past season, got to play once Khalil Mack got injured, and now he gets to team up with Robert Quinn as full-time starter. At least that's what I am anticipating out of this defense. So we'll see how it plays out, but overall, I really don't have a major problem with it. Again, would have liked a little bit more compensation, but I know a lot of you Bears fans are like, oh, this is terrible. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's going to be fine. By the way, we are on Rumble now. Chicago Bears Now is. We've been publishing videos over there for a couple of weeks. We're also live on Rumble. If you're watching on YouTube, go check us out on Rumble, rumble.com/Bears Now. More bonus content from time to time that you can find over there. Also, our content is going to be published there as well. We're diversifying our the brand here at Bears Now, if you will. More platforms that we're publishing on, including Rumble. Go check us out, rumble.com/Bears Now. Like YouTube, it's another video platform to publish videos. We're trying to grow the brand of Bears Now, so help us do that, rumble.com/Bears Now. Recapping the trade. So if you're just joining us live, here's the breakdown. Bears receive the number 48 overall pick, second-round pick from the Chargers, and next year's 6th-round pick for Khalil Mack. I've said all along, I'd like to get a first. I don't know if you'd get a first. They did not. They got a 2nd and a 6th. It's not an A-plus value, but Khalil Mack's 31 years old with some injury history now. It's going to be hard to get a first-round pick for those type of stipulations. Von Miller got a 2nd and a 3rd at the trade deadline last year, if you want to compare it to somewhat of a similar deal. I think that's different, though, because the Rams were in the middle of a Super Bowl push and tried to get a player on the fly, not in the offseason, so they probably paid in a little extra. Paid off for them. They won a Super Bowl. So, sometimes these things just work out in different circumstances, and I think this is a different circumstance. Was this a smart trade by the Bears? I think that's a fair question. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Get your votes in down in the comment section. Was this Khalil Mack trade smart by Ryan Poles?